All right. Right, so as I told you, we're gonna be speaking about the emotional first aid, which is a tech talk by Guy Winch. And let's going to get started. On the first hand, I would like to listen from you. What does emotional hygiene refer to? So I would like to hear one by one telling me your opinion on what emotional hygiene refers to.
Hello, tutor. I relate that phrase with the care that we give to our emotions and how we feel every day and what importance we give it to them. For example, when I am sad, I always try to put aside and to stay alone in my bedroom, and I start to answer to myself, sorry, why I am feeling like that or something. And I think that we have to keep in mind, we have to pay attention to each negative feeling that we have in our daily life, because it can become worse if we don't pay attention.
Okay, great. Thank you for your intervention. Let's listen to Stephanie and then Ingrid.
Okay. In my opinion, emotional hygiene refers to the cleaning and the health in our mental, in our brain, in our emotional feelings, etc. For example, Guy mentions example the how is important to brush the teeth in all the people is beneficial for our physical health. So I consider that this same meaning of the hygiene is important to bring our emotions, our feelings, our mental health.
All right, great. And now, Ingrid, let's listen to you. Go ahead.
Okay, emotional. A good is good emotional is when the people think positive ideas or positive thoughts. We could um, good idea for me is not to use negative expressions when you then lose a job or different situation. It could affect for myself the physical appearance is sometimes for people is more important, but the good health in my mind is better because according my mind or my emotions in the future my health is will good.
Thank you, Ingrid. Now let's listen to Leanis and then Caroline.
Okay, teacher, good afternoon. I think that the emotional hygiene refers to take care of our mind or how to improve or learn how I don't know how to say enfrentar.
Face.
Sorry, teacher, I didn't listen to you.
Face.
Face, yes.
Yep.
Yes, how to face the different situations like loneliness or frustration or any situation that we can expose. Okay, teacher, thank you. To expose in our daily routine. I don't know, but I think it's emotional hygiene refers to take care of our mental health. Is but how? It's to know how to take care of our mental health.
All right, thank you. Now let's listen to Caroline on your personal definition of emotional hygiene.
My personal definition about the emotional hacking, yes?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, for me, the emotional hacking is a very important process that every person has to uh, apply in their lives because it is also important as the body health. So, the emotional uh, situation that the person is living can be reflected on his or her physical health, physical appearance too, and also in their mind. That's my personal opinion about that.
All right, thank you. Let's going to move forward on this presentation. And now that you have provided me with some personal definitions on emotional hygiene, I would like to ask you, how important do you think emotional hygiene is?
Teacher, I think emotional hygiene is very important for everybody because it's the way uh, where you can feel good with yourself, is the way that you can feel peace with your life and feel happiness with your context. So for me, the emotional hygiene is, as I was talking some minutes ago, is as important as the body health and the body hygiene because we are humans and we are complete. We are not only the body, we are not only the face, or we are not only the mind. So we are like I forget the correct word. How do you say conjunto?
Whole.
Yeah, okay, we are like about these characteristics, and those characteristics make us unique.
All right, thank you. Now I would like to listen from Ingrid, then Stephanie, then Margarita, and lastly, Lianis.
Okay. Um, for good emotional, I think it's important to don't think about the past situations and don't think about the in the future what happening and don't listen bad news every day what happened for the world in this moment. And it's important to use uh, uh, positive jokes and stop crying every day. Sometimes some people use cry for all. Um, Other way is use, for example, to talk with friends or talk with spiritual person to use um, books for overcome um, files values, and it's important to use reflection about the good situations in the life and see other people how overcome or made the dreams is some things to improve in this situation.
All right, Stephanie, you have the word.
Okay. I consider that the emotional hygiene has the same level of importance as physical health. Even on some occasion, we must take more care of our minds because when we become mentally ill, our body can suffer serious illnesses as well, such as high blood pressure, obesity, heart attacks, etc., or even die. So I consider this is very important or the most important thing in our health.
All right, thank you. Margarita, go ahead.
Okay, I want to say something short in addition to what my classmate has said before. I think that it is really important because it depends a lot on the emotional factors. Because if we don't have a correct emotional gene, certain physical processes can also be affected. So that is why we must give the same importance to the emotional gene that we give to all aspects related to our physical health.
Thank you, Margarita. Lianis, go ahead.
Okay, Peter. I consider that emotional hygiene is as important as our physical hygiene. I consider when we have a rich emotional hygiene, we can understand many things that happen around us. Sometimes we can get that for the reason that everything happens around us. So when you have a rich emotional hygiene, you can you can find or you can search, yes, to answers in your problems on any situation.
All right, thank you. There were some pieces of information that I heard from Stephanie, and that's actually one of the questions that I would like to continue with. For the rest, I would like to know your point of view about this question. Which one do you consider it's more important, your physical or your mental condition? And also, do you think that the physical condition can affect the social condition and the other way around?
Oh, tutor, what a long question. I think that for me, the mental health is very important because when we feel better with ourselves, with our feelings, our with our feelings, we can it reflects outside our body. So if you feel happy in that moment, your face shows that you are happy. And if you are feeling sad, is the same thing. So I think that if you are okay with you, your your body language will show it. So I think that for me, it is more important to be mentally healthy.
What about the rest? What do you think? Do you agree? Do you have something else to say?
Oh my God. About the physical appearance or physical health, it is also important, but for me, it is not the most important. I am so, I'm really, teacher, how can I say desprendida?
What is a complete contest?
I want to say that I'm a person que está muy desprendida de las cosas físicas.
Well, there I could say to be away from something. Like you're not away from, yeah.
Okay, for me, it's the physical health. It is not all. I think that we have more thing to show to the people. I think that if you have good feelings or a beautiful personality or a mental health or a good mental health, it is more values than having a physical appearance, because at the end of our life, what people keep or remember from us is what you give to them, how you made them feel, or something like that.
All right. What about you, Lianis and Caroline? Which one is more important in your opinion, physical or emotional condition?
For me, it's more important emotional health, because I think that the beauty is real. I don't know, but for me, it's more important emotional health. For example, the famous people. Um, there are many actresses or models, yes, models. I don't know how to say
Models.
models.
Models. Yep.
Yes. For me, they are so beautiful, and because they have yes, they have perfect hair, perfect skin. They are fit, and her food is so healthy, but they oh, they have many critical moments in her personal life. They um, they don't have emotional health, because only or no sorry every time or always, yes, always, they always have uh, uh, yeah, sorry, they always have a perception of the world around us, around them, because oh no, I need to look perfect today. I need to show my perfect life. I think they don't have rich emotional health. I think
Um, according to the question, I think both situation or topics are important, because I think is their most order. For example, fears is important to emotional, mental, or even the spiritual situation, and then um, all the physical aspects. For example, if I am mentally, I have good emotions, I show other persons a good look, I show my smell, I show beautiful clothes all the time. But sometimes, for example, some celebrities and these people use um, emotion is bad. The emotion is bad, but the body is perfect. These people showed it's important for them a good body, a beautiful face, but you, your emotion, your mental aspect are bad because they are sometimes see people we try every day or lie for different situations.
All right, thank you for your opinion. So now let's going to move forward on the presentation. And at this point, we're going to say the summary. Remember that for the summary, you will have to speak for at least 2 minutes. You can go beyond that if you want to, all right? So let me know who wants to go first.
I can do it.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, and the video is about the importance of mental health in our lives and how we have left it behind, prioritizing our physical health. And mental health is just as important as physical health, and it shouldn't be neglected. That is why it's necessary to sorry to maintain mental fitness and emotional health in top shape, because an adequate mental health in human beings is a little attended topic. The people generally take care of physical care when there are manifestation of pain, but leave aside the psycho-emotional aspect. So, however, a balance between body and mind is required to be well with oneself, and with the environment. Hence, it's important in the individual. The different types of mental disorders affect emotions, the cognitive processes, and this in turn negatively impacts physical health and considerably limits the quality of life of those who suffer from the disease and of their families. And that was exactly what happened to whoever was talking about in the video. I don't remember exactly the name, who felt separated from his brother for the first time and faced loneliness, which disturbed him too much and affected his mental health significantly. Although many didn't know, the social isolation has strong effects on emotional stability and represent a risk factor for developing depression. But it is not only loneliness, there is also depression, anxiety, fear of failure, low self-esteem, and many more mental illnesses that we overlook and are treated when it is too late, and even some that are not treated can drive people to suicide. So that is why education regarding the importance of mental health should start from the time we are children. The children mechanically know when something hurts. They know that if they have a cut, they must be cured, and etc. But in terms of their emotions, many parents tend not to teach them much, and they grow as we have grown, repressing emotions and don't playing the importance they deserve. So we as adults tend to put aside any alteration in our behavior. We dedicate ourselves so much to taking care of our body. For example, we are exercising, going to the dermatologist, etc. But we never really stop to analyze our emotions, the things that affect us sentimentally, such as the speaker mentioned. We must be able to identify when we are not mentally and emotionally well and work on it. We have to put aside that thought that these things don't matter, and attend to our mental needs in the same way that we attend our physical needs. That's all, tutor.
All right, thank you for your summary. Who would like to continue now? All right, then let's do it this way. I'd listen Caroline, then Stephanie, then Ingrid, and lastly, Lianis.
To that, I can continue while Caroline appears again.
All right, I agree. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. This tech talk touches on interesting and a crucial topic in these days of global crisis. The speaker is a specialist in psychology who expresses with concern how people are much more interested in our physical health than in our mental health. We even neglect it so much that our mind is sick because we don't know how to face loneliness, rejection, and failure. That is the long-term lived wounds that are very difficult to heal. Very few people seek the services of an emotional therapist. Even psychologists are not taken seriously. Many people claim that they are not real doctors, for example, as that video presents. Guy presents some examples in his presentation. On one of them is how loneliness affected him when he moved to New York to study his doctorate, away from his twin brother and his family. That although he was surrounded by so many people, he felt alone, and explained that when this feeling of loneliness runs so deep, it can cause damage to physical health and even death. Also, he explained that people react in different ways to the failure, and it is important to identify the way we react to face it in a correct, in a timely way. And he presented example of three kids. Okay, and know how face our reaction in failure. Avoid convincing ourselves, yeah, that we won't achieve success because these type of ideas are very difficult to remove from our brains. And another example was about a woman rejected on the first date after a terrible divorce process. Guy explained that these kind of rejection are extremely painful, affect the self-esteem, and generate negative thoughts. So it is necessary that in those bad moments we treat ourselves, as we would like a good friend does, and avoid our ruminating. Is there is thinking over and over again in that bad moment, which generate bad thoughts that hurt us. Also, he mentioned how his brother's strength of mind and positivity helped him helping him recover quickly from cancer. So it is important to have a mental health, a good mental health for all others physical illnesses. And he ended his speech by saying that he and his brother, who is a psychologist too, want to see a world with people who take care of their mental health as well as their physical. And surely we would have a better world if all people cares about his health, mental health. That's all. Thanks.
All right, then see you for the complete summary. Now let's listen to, okay, Ingrid, go ahead. Then Caroline, get ready. And lastly, Lianis.
Okay. This video was with different topics, and the name the person is called Winch. He speak different situations about the frustration of bad situations. He talks example about the kids when he was a children, he was a kid. For example, about favoritism with different food with her brother. He gave other example, for example, other example about the one child with 5 years old and who hurt your leg when he brushing his teeth. But this kid knows it's important to take care of your teeth or body, but this says some questions they are important. For example, why is our physical health so most important? The the physiological health or emotional health. And they say other topic, for example, loneliness. This situation is bad for health because it craves cholesterol and defends body, our body, and there are bad process with the other um, situations. He speaks about the failure is equal and loneliness because some people and there are failure in your life. For example, they care we new man or possibly new love, but he is not feel a good uh, a good idea for him, but the girl feel bad and 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 say and say she say for she say for she say for example I have bad body, I have a ego person, but this important situation because he want to speak is important to improve the emotions. It's not good to look about posts or feel about different situation, the similar woman, it's difficult to to recover positive thoughts, but it's necessary to feel com compa compa teacher. How do you say compassion? Don't remember
Compassion.
compassion for we all ourselves or for me in this situation. When you change your mind, you change your bad thoughts, attitude, and positive the life changes. With example, his brother is bad, physical, but in your mind has positive uh, ideas, positive thoughts, and it's necessary to practice positive thoughts and don't don't think about uh, files or bad things. No more, teacher.
All right, thank you, Ingrid. Let's listen to Caroline.
Tutor, I think that Caroline is not here because I can hear her.
All right, go ahead, Lianis.
Okay, tutor. The video it was about why we all need to practice emotional health or emotional hygiene. And that oh sorry that video was about by Guy Winch. Is a doctorate in psychology. He began the speech talking about her experience when he grew up with his identical twin, and he said that when you grow up with a twin, you you become an expert at spotting favoritism. For that reason, they he was talking about the favoritism that we can see between the body and the mind, because we can see it everywhere. In his speech, he said that we all know how to maintain our physical health and how to practice dental hygiene, because we can learn that since we have 5 years old, because our parents, our teachers to train us in physical health or dental hygiene, but sometimes or rarely our parents or our teachers teach us to emotional hygiene or mental health. He said something that for me is very true when I want to expose or to talk about two specific question that he said. The first, what do we teach our children about emotional hygiene? And his answer was nothing. And the other question is, what is that our physical health is so much important to us than our physical health? Many people have, I don't know if it is a bad perception, but I think, I consider, on my opinion, that we don't to take care our physical health more than our psychological health. Sorry. Also, he talked about his experience when he left his country to study the doctorate in another country. I don't know if another country or another city, but he had many experience about loneliness or afraid. I don't know. He said that loneliness is the only psychological one that distorts our perception. When you are in alone in your bedroom, for example, you can see, I don't know, a dog or whatever. He said that that happened because we have a poor emotional hygiene. In my opinion, it's very true because, for example, in a school, there are psychologists, but only for children with educational needs. Other to learn how to face problems or educational needs. I said that because in my school we have a psychologist, but she only visit our classroom when I tell her, for example, psychologist, I need to review or you need you see the behavior or on my students, for example. Children don't learn to control their emotions, and when they are teenagers, they know loneliness, depression, frustration. They don't know how to overcome this stage or this emotions or feelings. For me, there is a big problem with our emotional health because in school there are not enough educational needs or sorry, ed. Yeah. The speaker, why Winch, also talk about her experience with when he's twin, when he had cancer. I don't know how the cancer is cancer. He was very strong, and when you have a rich emotional health, you can start again or you can continue in life. No more teachers.
All right. Thank you, Lianis. Okay, this is my last call, Caroline. Are you here? Okay, looks like you're not around. Okay, so let's going to move forward. and the presentation. I would like to hear from you. What's Dr. Winch's opinion about favoritism?
Uh, I remember that he explained that all time in all the fields of the life in the all context we have favoritism for something. In this case, he give the example for about how to say that about how we uh, have more important for us the physical health than emotional hygiene or mental health. So he also explained with every time we compare ourselves with the things that other people have. For example, with the cookie, with his twin brother, he always see all the thing of his brother and think why the cookie of my brother is bigger. So maybe he thinks, I don't know, maybe there is a favoritism in about his parents with them. So he explained that because he said that the people always say that the psychologist not a real doctor, and say something like, you are you have a depression. This is it's only in your mind, no reflection, no reflection about our mind is part of our body, and that's all. I remember that. I don't remember more.
All right, thank you, Stephanie, for your intervention. Let's listen to Ingrid.
Okay. This topic, according to a video, he says two types to use this term. The first is when the children prefer things different. For example, the kids prefer big or small cookie or different color, but but they think the father or mother show more love for my brother or sister. Other ways is, for example, people and prefer to take care a good body or a good physical appearance, but forget, for example, your mind, acute emotions, and this situation is not good. He says it's because affects the health or life of this person. Is my opinion according to a video teacher.
All right, perfect. Let's listen to Margarita.
Okay, Tudor. He says the favoritism can be seen in many aspects of daily life. As Stephanie mentioned it in the example of the cookie or his professional card, and that the people pay more attention to things related to the physical or to material things, and completely put aside the emotions or the mental capacity of the other people. So he says that he prefers that the mental health will be as important as the physical health, that we grow with a culture to paying attention to both and to about giving the properly value that each of these different kind of health have for our life.
All right, thank you for your intervention. Let's going to move forward. And I want now you to pay close attention to this affirmation. Do you agree with Dr. Winch's affirmation? What do we teach our children about emotional hygiene? The answer is nothing. Do you agree on this? Lianis,
Uh,
go ahead. And
okay.
Margarita, okay.
Yes, teacher. I totally agree because I am a preschool teacher. Um, I I rarely or um, I rarely or I think never I teach my children about emotional hygiene because my school, for example, my preschool is a very academical school for me. I need to teach I need to teach my children to numbers, letters, colors, right, left, up, down. I need to teach them many topics or subjects for daily for their daily routine. But rarely and never I teach emotional hygiene. I know that I here or there are many problems because when my children grow up, they don't know how to face their personal problems or how to control their emotions and feelings. But I think there are a problem with my school because I have I don't know how to say complete.
In which context?
For example, cumplir con lo que ellos mandan, o sea, con la malla curricular.
Well, in that context, you can use comply with.
Okay, I need to comply with the I forgot the a lesson plan. Yes, for me, I know that I have a problem. I have a problem with that, but my school is also have the same problem because we have a psychologist, but she doesn't how yes to teach me, for example, how to teach my students.
According to this affirmation, I disagree because the children are learning all the time. For example, two ways. The first, like parents, it's necessary to teach control emotions, use different examples to use a good emotions. For example, is no good perfect notes, perfect children, because when the children feel bad, it's not good for emotion aspect. Other way, like teacher, it's important to use stories or different activities in the classroom to improve good emotions. For example, respect in the classroom and don't use bad expressions when the other kids feel bad, is my opinion.
Okay, now I'm going to give my opinion. I am not agree from my point of view. Since I'm practicing with my baby the respectful parenting that is based on understanding the child and their needs. So these needs are often ignored and overlooked, but the respectful parenting focus on empathizing with the child, giving him a voice, valuing his emotions and feelings. But in other situations, the reality is different, and many parents don't teach their children how valuable it is to be in contact with their emotions and feelings. That so, from my point of view, I am not agree, but I understand that there are people that don't teach them to their kids what the oh my god what the emotional hygiene is.
Thank you, Margarita, for your intervention. Okay, let's going to finish here, but before finishing, I would like to hear a conclusion. I just want to make sure if Caroline is here now. All right, definitely not here. So let's ask Stephanie, would you please tell us a short conclusion of this TED Talk?
Yeah, of course. I really consider this very, very, very important for all the people we care care our mental health. I want to say something delicate in my life. I have a deep depression for 14 years, and these are terrible. But when I find for the peace and in the quiet in my life, I feel I feel fantastic. You know, when I had the depression, I was very thin, and I have, how to say that, anorexic. I was anorexic for that illness. I have a lot of problem in my physical health. So when I recover from that illness, I can see the life in a different way, and I can see my body health too, and I eliminate all the illnesses in my physical health. So it's important for all us, for all the people, uh, care our mental or emotional health. We need the first aid for emotions. We need to practice the empathy. We practice the respect for others. We need to understand the other people and love ourselves a lot. And that's all.